Ever have a beautiful quilt cotton languishing in your stash, but you don't have a project to use it with? Take that quilt cotton without a quilt home and make quilt cotton clothes. Howdy y'all, good morning. I have a few hours before I'm supposed to meet some friends at a winery this afternoon, and I thought I'd do a quick project before then. Most quilts are not that fast. Can't pull off a quilt in 3 or 4 hours. At least I can't. But one of the best things about quilting is quilt cotton and the amazing designs and patterns, multitude of designs and patterns out there. So when I find a fabric I really like this one that I found at my local quilt shop, which is by Melody Miller. It's a Ruby Star Society fabric. I mean, look at those cute fish. I don't know if they're meant to be goldfish or not. They look like goldfish to me. Then they've got this like copper metallic on it, dark teal, super pretty. I don't have a quilt in mind for this, but I love the fabric. So I'm gonna wear the fabric. One of my favorite things to do with quilt cotton is make garments out of it. For today, I'm gonna turn this guy, which is 1.5 yards, into a shirred top. So like this dress, the elastic top, I'm basically gonna use most of this to make the body of it, and then whatever's left, I'll make straps. Maybe do like a little ruffly frill coming off the shoulders. That's the plan. The longest part is gonna be doing the shirring. Shirring? Shirring. So that is using elastic thread and putting that into the bobbin. There's a ton of tutorials online on YouTube. Check them out. I'm not doing a tutorial today as I don't have the time. I just want to get it done. First we'll look at measurements and pieces. I will do a quick breakdown of that and then get putting it together. See if I can get it done in time to take it to the vineyard.
My fabric is standard quilt cotton, and after washing it came out to 42 inches by 55 inches. So that's what I had to work with. My fabric was also directional. That may or may not be a problem for you if you're looking to make a top of your own. The main measurements needed are your bust and the desired length. Straps can be dealt with later. For the main body of the top, you'll cut 2 pieces, one front and one back. For the width, you need your bust measurement divided by 2, then multiplied by 1.5. That gives you the room for the elastic to do its thing. And then add 2 inches for seam allowance. For the length, you need your desired length plus 1 inch for hems on top and bottom, or more if you prefer a wider hem. For me, that comes out to 35 inches wide and 21 inches long. This ultimately left me with 7 inches down one side and 13 inches across the bottom that I could use to make straps and flounces later.
All right, so we've got our measurements. Time to start cutting. I want to cut a 13-inch chunk off of here, which will just give me the biggest solid piece to use for, I kind of want to do a frill on the end, so. Now back to cutting 7 inches off the edge of this one. All right, and that'll be used for straps. Now I've got my front and my back, and I just need to cut this in half. Piece number 1. Okay, that's done. Give this a quick hem at the top, and then we'll start shirring. I'm gonna start by using the hem line stitch as my edge, and I'm just gonna follow the edge of the feet as I go. And I got myself a timer. Let's see how long this takes. Now I've got a little over an hour to finish. Dear. I'm also out of black. I thought about going to buy some more, but I don't have enough time. So I'm going to use white, test it on my scrap, just to make sure it won't be visible. Well, that is disappointing. I think you can see it. I don't know if the camera can see it, but I can see it. So I need some black elastic thread. Well, back didn't take too horribly long, but they had all of one black, which is super annoying that I had to make the trip for that. Which sucks. I think I've got like half an hour before I need to leave. Whew. There's definitely no way I'm gonna have sleeves done in half an hour, but I could probably get away with just a tube top. We're just gonna be sitting around drinking wine. Up my stitch length again to 3.5, and we're ready. Alright, I'm giving up. One side is a little less than the other side, which isn't really that big a deal. The back really doesn't need as much as the front anyway. At least that's what I'm telling myself. And I need to leave in like 15 minutes to accomplish that. I need to French seam these together. I still have to like actually get dressed. Not really a fan of tube tops either. So there's kind of that mentality. Is that worth it? Should I just stop? But I'm not going to because I'm fucking stubborn. Okay. Oh, come on, Bobbin. You can make it. Alright, I'm gonna trim the side, flip it around, sew down, sew it for the French seam, hem it, done. We're running out the door. No more filming. Alright. It is early the next morning. I did not get to wear this top last night to the vineyard. Very sad about it, but moving on. The reason I didn't wear it is too loose. I also don't really like tube tops, so currently wearing it over my pajamas. I feel like it needs to come in more under the boobs. But before I take it in, I think I should wash it. Like the dryer will suck in some of the elastic. In general, I'm happy with it, and I think with sleeves, it's gonna look quite cute. Well, washing it does seem to have worked a bit. It's brought it in a good amount. I could probably still stand to bring it in some, but I think I'm gonna leave it for now. Go ahead and add some straps. So then the question is, how long do the straps need to be? When I bring it up to give it more of an empire waist, I do not like that at all. So I do prefer it fairly low, so where the elastic really is at my waist. I'm undecided on the strap, so I want to do like a solid flat band and then do a flounce, I guess is the word I was looking for yesterday and couldn't remember. Anyway, a ruffle that's not gathered, a circular ruffle flounce. So do I want just straight? Do I go out to give it like a V-neck vibe? So really, if I have the like solid strap follow my bra line pretty well, I think that's going to be my best bet there. So for that, I need, wow, that's 22 inches. Way longer than I expected. And I think I cut my fabric down thinking I wouldn't need anywhere near that long. I've only got 18.5 of that, though I could make it thin with the strap itself and then do a wider flounce. That could work. All right, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna go do some math on a flounce. Well, that felt a little ridiculous. Spent an hour drafting that spiral. Essentially it came out to, I tried doing just regular donut flounces, but I would need 13 inches square to get a full one that I needed for the correct inner radius. And to do 4 of those so that I could properly line them, I don't have enough length for that on my chunk of fabric. So I went to play with the spiral. This probably would have been a lot easier to draw by hand, but I figured I'd work on my Inkscape skills, which since it took me an hour to do this, it's pretty poor. I need to improve. So that's what I did. Now I need to test it because I have no idea what this is gonna end up looking like, and I don't wanna waste my fabric. So I'm gonna use this, which is like a super cheap, so it's a little lighter than what I'll be using, but I'm gonna use it anyway.
I first put 2 mirrored spirals together and sewed a 1/4-inch seam along the outer edge. I used some pinking shears to trim it up so it would lay nice and flat. Gave it an iron. Then I did the burrito method with the flat band to encase the raw edges. Wrap it right sides to right sides around the flounce. Pin it all together, and here's where having some extra length on that flat band really helps. I don't have to be perfectly lined up, and I could just trim off the ends later. Once it was all pinned, I did another 1/4-inch seam, then flipped the whole tube right side out, and then finally ironed the flat portion of the strap in half. And she's ready to go.
Well, my camera died and is dying. Phone, whatever. It's still dying, so I don't have long. Done with the sleeves. They're just pinned on at the moment. I need to actually sew them on. So do a quick sew line across here, matching the stitch lines that are already there so it hides. And that's it. She's done. I am learning. I don't have a bra that fits this at all. I'm gonna have to go bra shopping, which is fine. But yeah, all done. Well, it's been a few weeks now, and while I didn't get to wear this top to the vineyard that day, I have worn it to work a few times and to a guild meeting where it was a really big hit. I find as I'm getting older, I like more and more girly things like ruffles and poofy skirts. It's a little strange. I was definitely more of a tomboy growing up. I'm loving the flounce on here with the quilt cotton. It's got just enough body to stand up without being too stiff. I'll put a link below for the pattern. It just has to be printed on a PDF poster at 100% to get a 22-inch long flounce, and it's about 3 inches wide. Anyway, I don't really have any complaints on this one. I probably could have dropped the 2-inch seam allowance that I added to the main body pieces, and it would have ended up a bit tighter. And ultimately, I didn't need the full 22 inches on my straps and the flounce. They are tucked in a little bit on the front and the back, but that's all right. I think it looks good anyway. All in all, I'm really happy with my quick weekend project. And now I get to take this super cute fabric everywhere. And that's on the 11. So 11 plus 13, what's that? 24? Something like that. And because I can't trust my own math, even though I'm an engineer and I should know how to do math, I'm gonna use another ruler to verify. Yep, 13 inches.